How to introduce the MCU Norman Osborn variant to fans. 10. Cross the heart out, enter the Patriot. Introduce Iron Patriot in Wakanda Forever instead of Iron Heart, but rather than Rhodey, consider using the original comic version, Norman Osborn, portrayed by Antony Starr. Antony Starr has the intensity and can pull off the insanity and faux stoic hero pretense.
Okay, move aside, kid. This is Dr. Norman Osborn speaking, your new Iron Patriot. I live at East 40th to 43rd Streets between 1st and 2nd Avenues, near the United Nations, New York, 371411. This is my confession. So you see, many of you view new legacy characters as nothing more than parodies or pale imitations of the originals. And I get it, that can feel like a disservice to the legacy of the characters you've come to love. But let me ask you this, why not weave me into this world in a way that feels natural, even necessary? Imagine this, Shuri recruits me after Wakandan intelligence uncovers my vibranium detector. It's a perfect fit, isn't it? So here's the setup. Wakanda's vibranium shipments were suddenly halted by mysterious pirates armed with weapons made from vibranium. The world grew impatient, waiting for Wakanda to resolve the issue, and they began seeking other ways to obtain the precious metal. This, of course, only made Wakanda more guarded, less willing to share its resources. And here's the twist. Many of those weapons were repurposed from Wakandan medical technology. Sonic cannons, for example, were crafted from modified ultrasound detectors. Deadly innovations born from tools meant to heal. Now, where do I come in? With my vibranium detector, I could be the key to tracking down these pirates, recovering the stolen vibranium, and restoring balance. It's not about replacing anyone or overshadowing the past. It's about adding a new layer to the story, one that respects what came before while pushing the narrative forward. So what do you say? Ready to see how I fit into this world? 9. Assisting the Black Panther. So let me tell you something. You don't survive in this game without a few tricks up your sleeve. I used my pharmaceutical expertise, decades of Oscorp's finest work, to help Shuri resurrect the heart-shaped herb from extinction. So think about that. A relic lost to the Killmonger, revived by my genius. And with it, she claimed her throne as Wakanda's next monarch and protector of Wakanda. But that's just the start. So when Namor decided to play thief, hijacking Wakanda's vibranium shipments to hoard power for his soggy little empire, oh, we handled it. So the second Black Panther and I, the second Iron Patriot, if you're keeping score, stood shoulder to shoulder, crushed his underwater uprising. But that fish-breathed tyrant, he's got a flair for theatrics, threatened to drown Wakanda if they ever shared vibranium with the world again. Worse, he swore if anyone came sniffing for his Atlantis wannabe city, a vibranium isotopic nuke right to Wakanda's doorstep. Charming guy, really. But here's where I outplay the board. I handed over the vibranium detector to the Wakandans, burned every shred of my research. Poof, gone. You know why? Trust is currency. And now they owe me respect, loyalty, the kind you can't buy with all the vibranium in the world. And the kicker? Now the entire world, media, press tours, social media, and message boards are calling me the latest superhero. Rock star status, Stark level. Turns out saving kingdoms and burning bridges against the CIA, best career move I've ever made. Remember this, kid. Sometimes the real power isn't in what you keep. It's in what you let go. 8. Power vacuum filled. Rhodes retired, Rogers gone, Stark dead. That's where I ascend. I stitched their legacies into a new flag. Patriotic billionaire, war machine chic, the world's nuclear deterrent strapped to my fist. Call it House of Cards with a super soldier heartbeat. Competence terrifies you. Good. When Fury got sacked during the Skrulls' uprising, I didn't stop the Skrull invasion. I erased it, burned their nests, their sympathizers, even the helpful ones. Ruthless, number necessary. You want a hero, you got a surgeon. And sometimes the diabetic patient needs amputation. 7. The Goblin. Before you comment on this, hear me out until the end. It pays off. So while Tony Stark had his Jarvis, I, Norman Osborn, have the Goblin. This isn't some ordinary AI. It's an ancient, shape-shifting deity, a being of immense power that escaped its tomb during a divine war, only to find itself trapped in Earth's mirror dimension. It reached out to me during one of my experiments, a voice in my mind, a presence only I could see reflected in mirrors. The Goblin is my guy in the chair, but it's far from a mere assistant. It's a condescending, wisecracking sadist, a mind as sharp as my own, if not sharper. We struck a deal. Its knowledge and guidance in exchange for my help in freeing it from its dimensional prison. Together, we've achieved the extraordinary, building the Iron Patriot, pushing the boundaries of science, and reshaping the world. The Goblin and I are a perfect match, two minds aligned, each using the other to achieve our own ends. 6. Playing both sides. After earning Wakanda's trust, I stole the heart-shaped herb's DNA, weaving it into my performance enhancers. With government and mafia funds, I conducted covert experiments on desperate volunteers, pushing the boundaries of superhuman potential. Using proxies, I sold these enhancers to mob bosses, creating enemies to fight and capture, indirectly forming the Sinister Six. Ever watch the classic Star Wars movies? Not the ones back in the 80s. I'm talking about the true classics made in the 2000s. Revenge of the Sith fans out there. Up top, to like Gandalf with lightning fingers, 720 no-scope Jedi Masters. I'll pose as a contingency planner against the superheroes. I tried it with the Flag Smashers, but the new Cap took care of it. But under this guise, I've built a government-backed super team, recruiting superhumans to harvest their DNA for my research. I've even amassed spliced Skrull DNA. 5. Precursor to Armor Wars. In 2011, Tony Stark arrogantly claimed it would take the world a decade to match his Iron Man suit. Now, in 2025, I've surpassed expectations, creating 2 gold titanium prostheses, Old Glory and Star Spangled. Old Glory is a tank, though it needs a gantry for disassembly. Star Spangled, nimble and portable, folds into a suitcase like Stark's Mark V, but it's more vulnerable to heavy fire. While not as advanced as Stark's nanosuit, it rivals his earlier armors in strength. In case you didn't know, later Iron Man suits disassembling autonomously are weaker than those requiring a gantry. Many see me as Stark's true successor, sparking a battle for the Iron Man mantle. Mech suit clashes are back, and it's glorious. As for Ironheart, she belongs in this era, fighting for her place in the legacy I've reshaped. 4th, echoing the dark Stark legacy. So with my fame, I've secured lucrative military contracts, funding my bioengineering and mech suit research. I've taken over the Department of Damage Control, giving me access to reverse engineered tech from the Avengers, Wakandans, Hydra, Ultron, and alien invaders. Who knows? I might even bring Ultron back. Stark and Banner failed to muzzle this mad dog. I will not. I've got my eye on Spider-Man, too. I'll try to recruit him, offering the Crimson Gold Iron Spider suit, but secretly, I'm after his DNA. He's the perfect specimen for my experiments, and he won't even know it. 3. Where was Oscorp in the MCU? Before Iron Man made his appearance, my Oscorp was a government-backed pharmaceutical company tasked with replicating Captain America's super soldier serum. For me, it was personal, but once Stark's mech suit stole the spotlight, the military contracted fund maw dried up. The 2008 financial crisis nearly destroyed Oscorp. So then came Thanos' snap. Suddenly, the world needed Oscorp's pharmaceutical resources more than ever. Overnight, I went from 10 years of lab coat rags to tuxedo riches, flush with government financial backing. The world may have forgotten me once, but now I'm indispensable. 2nd, Harry Osborn. So why do I obsess over performance enhancers and creating stronger humans? 2 decades ago on Halloween, I faced unimaginable tragedy. My beloved wife died giving birth to our son, Harry, due to a cruel genetic abnormality resembling Harlequin disease. Though the Osborns carry the malignant globulin gene, it should have stayed dormant. Her sudden death and Harry's condition shattered me. Doctors offered no hope for Harry, but I refused to accept that. I poured every resource I had, our fortune, Oscorp, and even my own body, into finding a cure. In my pursuit, I pushed away everyone, sacrificing loyal subordinates. I believed recreating Steve Rogers' super soldier serum could save Harry. While Harry's life has been largely confined to a bed, my discoveries have eased some symptoms, allowing him to function as an adult. But without a permanent cure, the disease still grips him. I'm racing against time, developing globulin hobble to eliminate the defective gene. So I'll stop at nothing, even if it means going to hell on a scholarship. Harry, now at university, befriends Peter Parker. I've heard he's a genius, but a wimp. Perhaps he could be of use for me in Oscorp. First, globulin formula. Even while wearing the Iron Patriot armor, I despise mech suits. I prefer enhanced organics and simpler designs. I've synthesized a formula, globulin green, that has amplified my body and sharpened my already formidable intellect. But it's also tampered with my sanity. Wait, sorry, I'm I'm feeling unwell. I think I need to cool down for a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Dr. Jekyll is taking a nap. Mr. Goblin, at your service. Here's the real twist. Norman Osborn's so-called ancient, shape-shifting god assistant, the Goblin, yours truly, is nothing more than a figment of his fractured psyche. A psychotic split personality. Most of you probably saw this coming a mile away, except Dr. Osborne and his New York-sized ego. I am the embodiment of Osborne's darkest desires, to be worshipped as an authoritarian, mythological genius. For an adrenaline junkie like him, saving the world and battling Skrulls in mech suits has lost its thrill. He fights against his own fantasies of soaring over Manhattan, spreading chaos, watching queens burn, and hearing the panicked screams. One day, that fantasy would become reality. And that's when I will fully take over this mortal body, when I am strong enough to put the good doctor in more naps.